Look, I'm not some poet or Instagram husband who writes anniversary captions like a love novel. I'm just a guy who works with his hands. I wake up at 5:30 every morning, pack my lunch, throw on my boots, and head to the construction site. That's been my life for 18 years. No shortcuts, no handouts, just hard work and calluses. I met Alyssa at a dental clinic. She cleaned my teeth, and I guess I left an impression. She was sharp, funny, and had this thing in her smile that made me feel like I mattered. We dated for 2 years before tying the knot. She used to wait up for me after long shifts, cooked dinner, snuggled on the couch, even joined me at football Sundays with the guys. We were tight, but somewhere along the way, something shifted. At first, I didn't notice. Life gets busy. You get married, bills pile up, routines form. We'd crash on the couch after work, scroll through our phones, fall asleep halfway through a movie. Normal stuff. But little by little, the warmth just disappeared. I'd lean in to kiss her neck. She'd flinch. I'd try to hold her waist while she cooked, and she'd step away like I startled her. And the excuses started. Every night. Ugh, I have a headache. I'm exhausted. Let's just cuddle. I had a rough day, babe. And sure, sometimes people really are tired. I get that. But it wasn't just one night. It became every night. And I'm not just talking about physical stuff. Even hugs felt forced. She'd kiss the dog more affectionately than me. Meanwhile, whenever she wanted something, a new coat, fresh nails, monthly Botox, a girl's trip to Tampa, guess who was always expected to say yes? Me. And like an idiot, I always did. Even when things were tight, I made it work. I'd skip lunch, pick up extra hours, sell tools I barely used. Also, she didn't have to miss her salon appointment or her group yoga retreat. I started juggling 3 credit cards, paying just the minimums, maxing out and transferring balances just to keep her lifestyle untouched. She used to work 5 days a week, but slowly dropped to part-time. Said she needed more self-care. And you know what? I didn't even argue. I thought, if this makes her happy, I'll figure the rest out. That's how I've always been. I fix things. That's my job. But nobody told me what to do when I was the one being broken. I remember one night in particular. It was a Friday. I brought home takeout from our favorite diner, Tony's over on 5th Street, and she barely looked up from her phone. I was excited, you know? Just wanted a quiet dinner together, maybe a glass of wine, maybe a chance to reconnect. She didn't say thank you. Didn't even notice I ordered her favorite, the club sandwich with sweet potato fries. She scrolled through TikTok, laughed at some video, and said, "I'm not even that hungry, I'll eat later." Then she walked into the bedroom and locked the door behind her. Said she had a migraine. Again, I sat at that kitchen counter, eating alone like some stranger in his own house. That night, I didn't even go to bed. Slept on the couch, fully dressed. And you know what? I realized something around 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling fan going in circles. I was no longer her husband. I was her damn wallet. She didn't want to touch me, didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to be seen with me unless it involved spending money. And it's not like I was lazy. I worked damn hard, 45 hours a week during regular times, and more during busy seasons. My knees are shot from climbing ladders and crawling under beams. My fingernails are black with grime half the time. I don't drive a fancy truck. I've never had a PlayStation or a golf membership. I wear the same 4 flannels on rotation. But I made sure she had what she needed. Always. We used to laugh in the kitchen, man. Like really laugh. We had inside jokes. Shared playlists. Grocery store routines. We danced once in Walmart, cause her favorite song came on the speakers. Now, we're just 2 people passing each other like strangers. She's glued to her phone, and I'm just background noise. I started to notice things, like how her whole vibe changed when she talked to her friends. Giggly, bubbly, animated. Like she was alive again. But with me, flat, robotic, cold. It's like I'd done something to disgust her, and no one told me what. Even intimacy felt like a service you had to schedule in advance, like she was doing me a favor every 3 months. Meanwhile, if I ever hesitated to transfer $150 for her brow specialist, or buy her another Lululemon set, she'd say, "What's your problem? Why are you being so tight lately?" I wanted to scream. Because I'm drowning in debt, Alyssa. I can't even buy new socks. But I never said that. I just nodded, smiled, transferred the damn money. I stopped talking to my buddies about it, too. Guys don't get sympathy for this kind of thing. You say, my wife never touches me, but she takes all my money, and people act like you're whining or being dramatic. But I know I'm not crazy. I know what love used to feel like. And this isn't it. It got to the point where I'd flinch when she walked into the room. Not because I was scared, but because I didn't want to get hit with another complaint or money request. I used to walk in the door and feel peace. Now I walk in and feel tension, like I'm waiting for a courtroom verdict. The irony? When she first met me, she said she loved how real I was. You're grounded. You're not flashy. You know what matters. Yeah, she said that. But now, she rolls her eyes at my steel-toe boots by the door. She criticizes how I eat, mocks my truck because it doesn't have Bluetooth, acts like she's outgrown the guy she used to cry from laughing with. So here I am, sitting in a half-paid house, eating leftover chili, scrolling through job boards trying to pick up side gigs just to survive while she shops on Amazon in the other room, in a house I'm single-handedly paying for. You ever feel used up by someone who once swore they'd love you forever? That's where I'm at. And I know I'm not alone. There are guys out there just like me, silent, loyal, exhausted, walking around in a fog, wondering where the hell their marriage went. But the thing is, I'm not going to stay like this much longer. Something in me snapped. Not in an angry, throw things kind of way. In a quiet, dangerous way. You'll see. You know what's funny? I used to take her word for everything. If Alyssa said she was tired, I'd believe it. If she said she had cramps, I'd bring her a heating pad and a cup of tea. If she didn't want to be touched, I'd keep my distance and just hold her hand until she fell asleep. But lately, something started feeling off. And not the kind of, oh, we're just in a rough patch kind of off. I'm talking about that gut-level discomfort that creeps up on you slowly, like something's crawling under your skin, but you can't quite see it yet. It all started when I came home early one Tuesday afternoon. Rained out on the site. I walked through the door, expecting to find her maybe napping, watching a show, whatever. Instead, she's standing in the kitchen in this tight, gray tank top, the kind she never wears around me anymore, laughing on the phone, holding a wine glass. At 3 p.m., she didn't see me at first. I just stood there by the hallway, listening. She said, "You know I like it when you push me up against the mirror, right?" I froze. Not "Hi, babe." Not "Be safe driving." No, she was out here casually whispering dirty talk like it was just another Tuesday chore. Then she spotted me. Her whole face changed, like someone hit a switch. She fumbled with the wine glass, ended the call in a panic, and blurted, "It was just Sam from work. We joke like that. It's nothing, right?" I didn't say a word, just stared, and walked into the bedroom. I sat on the edge of the bed, heart pounding in my chest, trying to tell myself I imagined it, that I must have heard wrong, that it wasn't what it sounded like. But deep down, I knew. That was the crack in the dam. From that moment on, I started watching more closely. I paid attention to her patterns, her habits, her lies. You know how people slip up when they think no one's looking? That's what started happening. She claimed headaches every night, yet somehow she had enough energy to hit the gym 4 times a week, go out for girl dinners that lasted till midnight, and stay glued to her iPad for hours, binging reality shows with full volume on. But when I'd walk into the room, she'd yawn and say she needed rest. The more I watched, the more I saw. She started hiding her phone. Before, it was just lying around on the couch. Now, always flipped face down. Password changed. Notifications off. I once saw her delete a text right after reading it. I pretended not to notice, but I saw the name Zane Man Lifting Weights. Zane. She told me he was her new trainer. Said she got a great deal through the gym's promo. Thing is, I never saw her lifting a single dumbbell in her life. So I checked our joint checking account. She said he charged $40 per session, but I found 4 Venmo payments in 1 week. $95, $110, $130. And the notes? Meal plan. Form check. Thanks winking face. Who puts a wink emoji on a Venmo payment to a trainer? I felt sick, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wasn't going to scream or beg. I played that game before. You shout, they cry, nothing changes. I needed proof. I needed facts. So I got smart. I created a new Apple ID and synced it to her old iPad that she barely used anymore. She had no clue it was still connected. Within days, I started getting mirror notifications, messages, calendar events, even airdrop attempts. And guess what I found? A full conversation with Zane. Screenshots, photos, voice notes. She sent him a pic from our bathroom mirror, wearing my shirt. Told him he's clueless. I'll meet you after yoga. That hurt more than anything. Not just because she was cheating, but because she made a game out of it. Like I was some blind fool walking around funding her new lifestyle while she laughed behind my back. The headaches? They vanished the second I wasn't home. One night, she said she had a migraine and needed silence. I said, cool, I'll go to bed early. I walked into the room, made noise like I was lying down, and left the bedroom door slightly cracked. Then I stood quietly by the hallway, listening. 10 minutes later, she was on the phone again, laughing, whispering, talking about booking a cabin getaway. With who? Not me, that's for sure. The last trip we took together was 3 years ago to Lake Erie, and she spent most of it on her phone anyway. It was like I'd been erased. I kept digging, dug deep into our iCloud backups. She'd forgotten to disable that feature. Found deleted messages, flirty voice memos, calendar invites for hotel check-ins during the same weekends. She said she was visiting her sister in Cincinnati. One night, I found a receipt in her purse. High-end restaurant downtown. $188 tab. 2 entrees. 2 desserts. A bottle of Cabernet. All paid with my credit card. You know what she told me that night? That she had gone to a vegan cafe with her friend Monica. Claimed she barely touched her salad. Man, I could have laughed if it didn't burn so much. This woman, the one who couldn't stand to be in the same bed with me, who flinched when I reached for her hand, was out here playing girlfriend to another guy using the money I broke my back to earn. And when she got home, she still acted bored, still rolled her eyes when I asked how her day went, still said, I'm not in the mood, before I even opened my mouth. I realized something sitting on the edge of my bed one night, staring at the empty side where she used to curl up beside me. This isn't a marriage anymore. It's a performance. She wears the ring, lives in the house, eats the food, uses the money, but her heart left a long time ago. And mine? Mine is starting to turn cold. But like I said, I'm not the guy who yells. I'm not going to smash things or cry on TikTok. That's not how I move. I'm building my case. Quietly, I made an appointment with a family law attorney. Robert E. Franklin, local guy in Columbus, sharp as a tack. Told me to start documenting everything. Every payment, every message, every lie. Ohio's an equitable distribution state, which means if I'm smart and if I get enough evidence that she's been committing marital misconduct, especially using our money to carry on an affair, I've got leverage. Real leverage. She thinks she's in control because I've been silent. She has no idea I'm 10 steps ahead. So now, every time she leaves for yoga, I smile and kiss her cheek. Every time she asks for a small transfer for her nails, I say sure. Every time she lies, I act clueless. But behind the scenes, I'm saving every single thing. I've got folders, screenshots, bank statements, even a copy of our wedding vows sitting next to a flash drive labeled evidence. She wanted to play smart? Fine, but I play quiet. And quiet men are the ones you never see coming. You know when people say, enough is enough? That moment comes quietly. No screaming, no slammed doors, no Hollywood-style arguments. Just silence, the kind that settles in your bones and tells you, yeah, this is it. That was me 3 weeks after I found out Alyssa had been using my name, my money, and my house as a launching pad for her little double life. While she was moaning about headaches at home, she was out on dates with Zane, swiping my card at steak restaurants, and sending him selfies from our bathroom mirror. The same one I cleaned every Sunday like a fool. But like I said, I didn't blow up. I played the long game. Step 1, lock things down. I went to the bank, First Financial on Broad Street, sat across from a woman named Karen who could tell something was up just by how I looked. I said, I need to protect my money. Quietly. She didn't ask questions. We closed the joint checking account, transferred my direct deposit to a new account under my name only, canceled the shared credit card, and replaced it with a solo one. Within 48 hours, I pulled the rug out from under her. Then came the real fun. The next morning, I acted like everything was normal. Made coffee, kissed her cheek, wished her a good yoga session. She smiled and said, "Transfer me $60 for the class and a smoothie." I nodded, pulled out my phone, and typed a fake transfer notification. She didn't even check, just walked out the door humming. 2 hours later, I got a text. Did the transfer not go through? My card declined twice. I ignored it. That night, she was pacing around the kitchen, pulled up the bank app on her iPad and froze. She looked at me and asked, "Why is the balance zero?" I took a sip of my beer. No idea. Maybe call your yoga teacher. That's when she started unraveling. Hair appointments, declined. Amazon cart, payment failed. Her Uber app, locked out. Every luxury she took for granted gone. And it wasn't even about the money. It was about the control she thought she had. She'd gotten used to me being the safety net, the backup plan, the silent provider who never questioned anything. But when Annette disappeared, she had nothing to land on. I didn't stop there. I canceled her gym membership, froze her streaming subscriptions, switched the utilities to my new account, and set the auto pay for my new place. Oh yeah, I was already 2 steps ahead on that too. Found a 1-bedroom apartment in Powell, just 25 minutes outside Columbus. Quiet neighborhood, Lakeview affordable. Signed a lease under my name, furnished it simply, and kept the keys in my toolbox at work. While she was out getting pedicures with Zane's name in her mouth, I was building a life without her. And I saved the best for last. Her birthday. She made it a tradition. Every year, we'd go to Jeff Ruby's steakhouse, get a bottle of red, and she'd post those cutesy photos with captions like "spoiled again, 2 hearts." She expected that again. Instead, she came home to a table with a single envelope. Inside was a printout. Every Venmo transaction. Every message I pulled from her iCloud backup. Screenshots. Hotel bookings. Pictures. All of it. And at the bottom, just one sentence handwritten by me. "I have a headache. Must be stress. You know how it is." She screamed. She threw the envelope. Started yelling. "You went through my stuff?" I didn't even flinch. I stood there, grabbed my duffel bag, walked to the door, and said, "You're not the only one who knows how to disappear." And I left. She followed me out, barefoot in the driveway, shouting that I was overreacting. Said I was acting childish. Said it wasn't what it looked like. Then came the tears, the begging. The "we can fix this, please don't go." But the thing is, I was already gone. Emotionally, checked out months ago. I just needed the receipts to back up my exit. And my new place? Man, the silence was healing. No more fake affection. No more tiptoeing around mood swings. No more being made to feel like a burden in my own damn home. I bought a used Dodge Challenger, matte black, loud as hell. Something I'd wanted for years, but never felt allowed to get. Drove it down to Hocking Hills, cleared my head, and sat by the cliffs with a cigar and a cold beer just thinking, why did I wait so long? 2 weeks later, she called, crying, said she couldn't pay the mortgage alone, asked me to come back just until she got back on her feet, claimed she missed us. I told her flat out, "No, you missed the ATM, not the man." I blocked her number, changed my email, unlinked every shared account, told her lawyer we'd move forward with the divorce uncontested, but there'd be no spousal support, no settlement. I had evidence. She'd burned the bridge and poured gasoline on the ashes. Funny how fast things turn. Zane? Yeah, he ghosted her the second I pulled the plug on the perks. No more dinner dates. No more hotel rooms. No more Lululemon on my dime. He vanished like smoke in the wind. She tried messaging my mom, my sister, even some of my coworkers. Said she was going through something. They all gave her the same answer. Talk to Derek. Oh wait, you can't. He's done. And I was. Done being the second choice. Done being the wallet with no feelings. Done being the man who gave everything and got crumbs in return. Now, I'm working more than ever, but I sleep better. I'm not rich, but my peace is priceless. I hang out with real people, friends who don't fake it, a couple guys at the site who helped me get back into fishing, even a woman from the supply office named Melissa who listens when I talk, laughs at my jokes, and doesn't treat kindness like a weakness. Am I bitter? No, just sharper now. You live, you learn, you rebuild. And if she ever walks by and sees me again, I hope she realizes the man who once gave her everything is the same man who walked away without looking back.